Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to look at a pen which all of us are probably familiar with in some form or another. It's a pen that I've always considered wanting to add to my collection and also to experience and get to know it. And that's the Kaweco Sport. I like pocket pens. Sometimes a small pen can be quite useful. You throw it in your pocket, throw it in your small carry bag or whatever format that you want, and it's ready to write. And that's one of the keys to having a good small pen. This is a Pilot Petite one, which I reviewed about a year ago, and I still think they're great. I have about 4 of them inked up with various types of ink, and they all write perfectly all the time. There's a Stipula Paparazzi, not to be confused with the Passepartout, which is a similar type of pocket pen. Here's a new one which I've added into my collection here, is the Esterbrook purse pen, as they would refer to it as. As you can see, it's a similar size. It does have a clip, but it is a pocket size. And just to put things in perspective, your TWSBI 580, your Pilot Vanishing Point, and your Lamy Safari. Brian Anderson recently did a review on the Savannah Green, this color, Army color. That model that he talked about was the earlier production. This one, I think, is at least 10 years later than that. So I thought it was interesting to get some history and to understand the Safari, how it started and how it grew up. So you can see very simple packaging. I think some of the Kaweco pens come in a more elaborate, could be like a tin, but this one is just simple. As we slide it out here, it does have a little plastic protector, which is usual when you want to get it out. It doesn't want to come out. And why I wanted to show this to you is it has the identification for the pen on it. It's a Skyline medium point and in purple. Haven't seen much about a pen being purple, especially the Kaweco Sport. I'm not certain how well this color is going to come out in this northern light that we have here. It's very overcast. It's probably a little bit bluer than it appears. It's more of a darker blue. It's hard for me to call it a purple. It does have the silver trim on it, which is similar of the Skyline variety. Very plain end at the other end of the pen. So this is, they've been making this pen for a long time. It's injection molded plastic. So certain molds have gotten their use out of them. They're probably on the second or third or many versions of them. It's an unscrew. It posts very securely. It fits well in the hand. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on the pen because there's been a lot of videos about that. It has a silver nib. I think the size of the nib is representative of the size of the pen. Small feet on the back. Kaweco is good at labeling all of their different parts. But I just thought I'd put it in perspective of the Pilot Petite one. So when they're posted, they're almost the same size, and that seems to be one of the things that they have in common. The nib is a little bit bigger on the Petite one, which is interesting, but it's a different style nib. The feed and everything else is unique on the Petite one, representative of some of the less expensive Japanese pen models. The Paparazzi's in a different vein. I mean, this is lists for close to $100. I paid less than that on eBay auction. But again, when you post it, and this screws in, so it's nice and secure, but also the Kaweco posts very securely. It sits very, very similar. It's a little bit wider, a little bit girthier, but where the rubber meets the road, they're very, very close. The section is also similar in size. Kaweco might be slightly bigger. I really do like the Paparazzi, and that is my pocket pen of choice. I do use the Petite ones a lot, but most of the things I do with that is I keep a specific type of ink in those that I probably wouldn't want to put in other pens. I have Bay State Grape. I also have Noodler's Bulletproof Black, so for a lot of my legal stuff, I use the Petite ones because I'm very comfortable. And this is the Esterbrook purse pen. And as we put these together, lo and behold, we also see a similar size between the two pens. You will notice a difference though in the nib, because the Esterbrook's, all the Esterbrook's have the same nib in them. You know, it's a removable nib section, so you can put lots of different varieties of nibs in it, probably more than almost any other pen ever made. Interesting discoloration here, but this is, you know, again, brand new pen, and a pen that's probably 60 plus years old, but still works and writes very, very well. The Kaweco gets filled with standard international cartridges. It comes with two. Two will fit back to back here in the barrel. But for our little writing sample, we're going to do eyedropper fill. That would be my choice. I'm not a cartridge person at all. I've never had really good experience with them. So Brian Goulet did a nice video on turning it into a eyedropper. So, you know, you just put a little silicone grease on the threads. You know, the threads are almost designed for this. For the ink, I'm going to use a Noodler's ink, which is another ink that I've had challenges with in other pens. Very saturated ink. It's called Philip Blue, after King Philip. I did a little bit of this because I got this at the Boston Pen Show. Just an intense color. We're going to be very careful because, as we know, Nathan fills his bottles up. We're going to use a standard syringe that we get from the Goulets. I'm not going to fill the thing up. It'll take 2 milliliters of ink. I'm going to put about a half in there. We want to fill up the ink past the threads inside the barrel, so we're going to put in about a half there. Put the rest back in the bottle. Set that aside, cap the bottle. When you do eyedropper, you got to just remember that this barrel is full of ink, so you don't want to invert it until you reassemble the pen. Again, just finger tight. We're going to set it up and let the ink saturate the feed, because unlike other pens where you might use a converter or a piston or a vacuum fill, the feed does not have any ink in it when you first fill the pen. I'm going to bring up my now regular Clairefontaine 90 gram. I like the wire so I can easily flip the pages around on a write on both sides. So we'll see. The feed came through pretty good. This is a very smooth nib, which is what I expected based on what I read. And as you can see, it's an interesting dark purple ink. I like it. It's extremely light as the Petite one, probably even lighter. It looks like it lays down a pretty decent patch of ink. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's a little view into a pen, which a lot of you may have considered or may own. I strongly recommend it. It writes well. As you can see, I love doing eyedropper fill. So may you have many pen experiences. May they all be pleasurable. And I'm writing over the camera, so apologize for that. So this will probably be the last video in 2015. So have a excellent year end, and may 2016 bring you pleasant memories. Bye.